Okay, let's get this rocking. So today, April 13th, we are going to talk about the 8 tactics to build your sales, build your audience, build your database, build your customer list, all of this to drive sales. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll get right into this bad boy and we'll talk about what we're going to talk about today. Okay, got that. So let me know. See if I can see my own screen over here. Should be able to. I had 2 computers going here, so one's hard enough for me some days. We'll get 2 on this one. Okay. In the chat, let me know if you can see my screen. What up, Luis? I see everybody on here chatting. Cool. So we're good. So let me turn my camera off since we don't need that on here. So what we're going to talk about is how to create your own radio station. This webinar is the second go around of this. And the concept of this is pretty simple. It's to teach people how to drive sales without spending money all the time. And that's a huge problem businesses have. And we're going to dig right into this. I did a webinar like this a week ago. This one's condensed, a little more tactic in it, a little more details on this versus going online. And we're going to fly through a little quicker. So first, let me tell you who I am, what I'm all about. It's pretty simple, nothing complicated. Husband and father, been married coming up on 20 years. 2 kids, 4 dogs. Kids are 16 and 12. That's them on the right, Paige and Cole. Been married to Christy almost 20 years. We've been together, I think, about 24. I wrote a book this time last year that really changed the direction of my agency. I've been a digital marketer since 1999 when I accidentally learned how to do websites because we opened a boat and RV dealership. I also have a unique background and I sold radio then. So for 4 years, I sold radio advertising. So what I'm going to talk about later on is going to come into play here because I understand that business pretty in depth. And I've been an agency owner since 2008. So my career was 99 to 03. I worked in radio advertising, and in 99 to 03, we launched a boat and RV dealership that grew to 15 million in annual sales. And what happened was during that time of doing both, I realized I couldn't do both. And so I eventually left radio, and I had a really good career in radio. I actually enjoyed radio a lot. It was a great business. It was probably the best thing I could have ever did right after college, because I learned a lot about other businesses' business, because when people know, like, and trust you and you're their rep, they tell you a lot. So I learned about their radio, their TV, their direct mail. Back then they had no clue what the internet was. From that, I transitioned into running the boat and RV dealership full time, which is where I really learned digital marketing. There's a cool story about how I found out about Google SEO with Yamaha Motor Company back in around 02, 03. That's really what propelled me to get back into the world of marketing, because I had so many businesses I knew that had no clue about digital marketing and still don't, oddly enough, which leads me to what this new book is about and what this webinar is about. So I've had my agency since 08. I've worked with all types of customers. Recently, the last 3 years, I've focused and scaled down to restaurants. And this time last year, I wrote that book on the bottom right there, Don't 86 Your Restaurant Sales, which led to a lot of agencies following me, which led me into being an agency coach as well. So I've got 2 businesses. I've got my agency, which I do almost 100% now restaurants. We have a few stragglers that aren't restaurants. And then my restaurant agency program, which I teach agencies and restaurants on how to put in place my program. The guy on the bottom left is one of the guys I owe a lot of this to. About 3 years ago, I found Billy Jean through a $4.95 flash drive ad that he was running, and it got me into his database and eventually got me seeing what I was missing with regards to the community of online marketers, with regards to how to use marketing a little different, and it led to a lot of what I'm doing today. So that's who I am. I'm pretty open. I'm pretty transparent. You can find out a lot about me by going to my Facebook page, by going to my YouTube page, by going to my website, mattplapp.com. I put a lot of stuff on there, a lot of content, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, and I'm pretty open with my tactics. So what we're going to talk about today is my concept of create your own radio station. Now, this started about 10 years ago. I've been doing speeches for a long time, but I had a period of like 6 or 7 years from probably 2009, somewhere in the neighborhood, to about 2015, where I did a lot of speaking, and I spoke on behalf of a company called Constant Contact and a couple other businesses. And about every 2 weeks, I would do a seminar, and I always used the concept of create your own radio station. That concept comes from the fact that as a small business, as a professional like myself, you have the ability to build your own audience and not depend on somebody else's. Because if you look at it, we're going to talk about this, your reach, your potential reach is much greater when you use these tactics, and much greater than what a radio stations could actually be for your business. So I want to dig into why businesses struggle to sell. And the biggest reason I believe that businesses struggle to sell is they don't own an audience. And this graphic with these social media icons might have a little outdated ones in there. I just thought it was cool looking. But the concept is there's all of these places that you can gather an audience and pull people together that have one thing in common. I guess maybe three, but know, like, and trust. They all know, like, and trust you. So if you can find a way to harness everything you're doing to grow your own audience, now all of a sudden you don't have to end up spending money. We're going to talk about in a couple seconds. So here's the number one problem, is this right here. It's blank for a reason. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows Matt Platt. Nobody knows. More people know me this year than they did last year, and that's my goal every year moving forward. But I left that blank for a reason. Nobody knows your clients. And it's crazy because some of the most well-known businesses in certain areas feel like everybody knows them. I've got a client locally we work with that spends upwards of $100,000 some months on marketing locally in the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky area. You wouldn't believe the number of Facebook messages we answer telling them where they're located and who they are. These people live 5 minutes away and they're in their perfect target market. So the concept isn't nobody knows you. So here's the ultimate problem, is that most businesses spend money to sell and not build. My whole concept, and this is what I'm contemplating working in the title of my book, is spend to build, not to sell. And maybe it's another book, I don't know. But this diagram is real simple. And this came up when I did my 3-day live event, was that people spend money and they take the path on the bottom. They take the arrow all the way over to sell. And what I mean by that is they buy a radio commercial, they buy a TV commercial, they buy a direct mail piece, they buy a magazine ad, they buy a billboard, they buy a sponsorship at a local sports game. They're spending money to directly impact their sales, which is fine to some extent. But if you always depend on that, you're always going to depend on it. Meaning when you need sales, you got to go back to the piper. My belief is that businesses should spend more time developing and cultivating an audience, developing a following, developing a database, so that when you need to sell something, you can go back to your own database. Hence the concept of create your own radio station. Now, this is my first question here. I want to ask you this question. Why are all of these companies able to charge for ads? And this is the part where you answer a question. So we got some people on here listening. Let's look at the chat. What is the reason? I don't even see the chat anymore. What is the reason that people can charge for this? Why can a radio station? It says no screen. Is my screen not on? Or is that just old? Okay. Can you guys see my screen, by the way? Okay, cool. So why can a magazine charge for advertising? Why can a direct mail company charge? Why can a billboard company? Why can a TV station or radio? Because they own an audience. Exactly right. So everybody's saying that magazine has a subscription base that's buying it, or they have a direct mail list they've acquired that helps them go after them. The direct mail company has a list of addresses. The billboard company has a audience that drives by every day. The TV station, by the way, you love the old TV and the old radio. I always put those in there because I feel like I want to make people realize how dated that medium is. But that TV station has an audience. They have people that tune in at 9 o'clock to watch Murder, She Wrote, if that's still on. The radio station has an audience. So that is how they're able to charge for ads. Well, think about it. What if you flipped the script? What if you had your own audience and you didn't need to depend on them? Or what if you used those mediums exclusively to build your own audience versus selling? And I think that's one of the problems. Imagine dating. Imagine if people didn't go on dates. They just walked up to women in bars or men in bars and said, hey, you want to get married tomorrow? Instead of finding out who they are, what that's all about them, and becoming known by them. They probably wouldn't be too successful, but if they did it the other way, they would. So that is the concept here, is that all of those businesses have what you don't have. They have an audience, and they make you spend money to get to their audience, which makes sense. So my goal today, and in my new book, Put Butts in Your Seats, 8 Proven Tactics to Drive Your Sales. My goal of creating a radio station is to teach people 8 tactics that you can use to build your own audience. And I want to ask you this: what if you had an audience that instead of 5 people was 50 people, or instead of 100 people was 500 people, or instead of 1,000 was 5,000? If you could talk to more people on demand, whether it's your agency, whether it's your restaurant, whether it's your car dealership, whether it's your church, if you can communicate with more people on a consistent basis without having to spend money, you can drive sales yourself. And so let's walk through what I've identified are 8 tactics. You got 7 little bubbles here because I combined the in-store community and grassroots. Now, these are the 8 chapters my new book is covering. So my new book that I'm writing, I guess it's basically wrote, it's almost completely done. We cover 8 tactics to drive your sales. Number 1, social media. Number 2, email marketing. 3rd, text messaging. 4th, video marketing. 5th, retargeting. 6th is in-store marketing. 7th is community and grassroots. 8th, messenger marketing. Those are in no order here. Those are just the order of this. But what I wrote the book about was teaching people how to use these metrics, how to use these 8 tactics to build an audience, build a database, build a following, so that when you need to sell something, you can go back to that. And all of these, of course, you can use to sell something right away. But if you use it for either one or both, it's amazing what happens. For example, a lot of things that I personally sell or some of my clients sell, we sell through Messenger, or we sell on a landing page. And people have to give us data before they buy it. So yes, we are using advertising to sell a product available in Messenger. But when they land in Messenger, guess what I've built? I've built an audience. I now know who the heck they are. So we're going to go through these 8 tactics. In my book, just to give you a quick thing, every one of these chapters, I have an interview with somebody in the business of how they're using it, how they've leveraged this. We have case studies in each chapter. We have examples in each chapter about these different items and how businesses are using these. And that's the goal of today's webinar, is to talk about that. And that's the goal of my new program I launched called Create Your Own Radio Station, is to teach with the book how to do these things. So number 1, social media. Now I included 1 in here because I was just didn't want to go too deep into this. But what you need to understand how to do is create content, create posts, create ads. Those are the 3 main elements of social media, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn. Those are the main things. You need to understand how to create content, have a content calendar, have an understanding of who the content calendar is to speak to, why it's to speak to them, and what the goal of that content is. Then you create posts on Facebook, you create videos on YouTube, you create posts on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Snapchat, and then you can run ads to them. And so this is just some simple examples of ads out there that we've done. And these are 3 different industries. The one on the far left is a restaurant. That's an ad that's actually still running today, very similar to it. That's it. That had in 6 months' time, 4,000 comments, 894 shares. It reached 181,000 people. It was for a free order of, well, not wings, but an appetizer. Their wings are amazing, by the way, but a free appetizer. The one in the middle is actually a post I made this past weekend in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, for that RV dealership, where I did a time-lapse video of me putting the camper together. The one on the right is an ad that I ran for my 3-day live event, and I ran that 10 days prior, and that was a little picture I did from a room and ran an ad to it. And the bottom is understanding the ads manager is you can create great content. And the part I love about social media that I think is still a huge opportunity, a huge missed opportunity, is that people are not using ads correctly. I talk to major companies all the time. I talked to one 2 days ago that was talking about boosting posts. Now, if you've got certain things built up, you can boost correctly, but they're literally just going in there, putting $500 and clicking boost and allowing friends of your page and their friends to see it. The ads manager gives you so many opportunities. And so within social media, the part I love the most is not that you can, one, Facebook is free, Instagram is free, YouTube is free, LinkedIn is free. You can create some great content, create a great following, put it in social media posts. Then you can figure out which posts need to become ads and who should see those posts. For example, the very bottom one's actually a post for a client of ours, a Creole kitchen, and it's going average, getting some decent opt-ins. Redemptions are a little slow. We got to tweak it, but it's a very niche restaurant. Well, we're able to look in there and go, okay, I know that people from there's 40 zip codes around this restaurant within, let's say, 30 minutes. I know that only 5 of these zip codes are going to draw people in. I also know they don't have very many people over 65. They don't have very many people under 25. They also don't have very many people that have kids that come to this restaurant. They're a millennial restaurant. And so we can target certain zip codes, certain ages, certain likes. I can look in there and find people that follow certain brands that we have created an avatar to understand. A good example is Holman in the top there, the RV dealer. We've had a lot of success with their Facebook ads because we understand, at least I understand, who buys campers. That camper you see in the picture is my camper. It's a 31 foot travel trailer bunkhouse. So when I'm trying to sell a bunkhouse camper for them, the biggest thing I know is bunkhouses means it's got bunk beds in the back. People get bunk beds in the back, have kids, they're married. So now I look and go, okay, I'm looking for people that are married with kids that might live in these zip codes because of the income. And then I go, okay, let's find people who follow Camping World, who follow RV World, who follow Coleman. Find people that have certain interests. And we're going to get into retargeting later, but you're able to build out amazing ads on the back end to drive it. And that's going to be one of the big topics of the book, and the membership site behind it is showing people how to use Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube at a dangerous level, because you can find everything you want. Now, I know I bang a lot on email marketing. Email marketing still works. I use it for myself. I use it for clients. There's a lot of different ways to create email marketing. Here's 3 examples. The one on the left is an ad for my email for my 3-day live event a couple weeks ago. You can see it's professional. It matches my brand. It's got a link to a video because I have found in my emails that videos are huge elements to get people to click. You put a video in an email like that, they will click and they will go to it. Now that, for me, serves 2 purposes. That video lives on my Facebook page. So now I'm able to do a couple things. Number 1, I send an email out. Number 2, the person clicks that email and they drive into my Facebook page. And now they watch that video, and now I can retarget them, as we're going to see here in a minute. So I'm able to do a lot of things there. Now think about this. Go back to what we were talking about, because all 8 of these, I'm going to come back to in a second, all 8 of these items, 7 dots, this one has 2, all 8 of these are ways that you can build an audience. In social media, you can build a following. You can use your Facebook ads like this one to get people into Messenger to build an audience. You can use videos like this one to build people into a audience that you can retarget. You can use your ads to drive these out to more people. So the goal of every one of these is to build your own radio station. If I go back to email marketing, here's 3 great examples how you can use email, how you can talk to people. It costs nothing. This one on the left is really well put together, really formatted, meant to look a very specific way, meant to talk about what we're talking about here, because this is what my 3-day live event was about. The one on the top is an email that went out for an automation that somebody scheduled an interview with me for my 3-day live event. I'm going to show you that in a second too, and show you how texting really helped that. But that was a good looking email. It's got a little branding in there, but it's also really formatted to make it look like it was a one-off email. And the far right is what a lot of us are traditionally used to seeing. It's a big graphic sent out from this brand, basically promoting their Easter Sunday stuff. No clue why they were adamant on promoting that, honestly, but that was something they came up with, and they saw a demand for it, so they have an Easter promotion. Now, one of the problems with email marketing is this email on the right really hits. We're going to get to later in Messenger, is that it went to probably too many people that really don't, Easter isn't a huge thing for them. whether Easter is celebrated by kids. If they could have segmented this, we could talk about that later. That's what we're going to talk about in the training with the beta, is how to take that email list and segment it and understand that how this email for Easter could be more impactful if it was worded this way, if it was going to women with kids, if it was worded this way to people who weren't women with kids, and so forth. And then the middle part here is pretty simple. This is, understanding how to build out nurture sequences, how to build out a conversation. Because if every time you do an email, it's I'm doing one today and then maybe 3 days, then maybe a month, you want to have a way that people get put into something automatically. This is a sample nurture campaign that we have that we use as a sample one, is that a great restaurant promo, and then 3 days later, we don't have these scheduled over here. This wouldn't be 3 days, but it would go, is your menu too big? I don't know why that has no subject. We had named it apparently. Table touches by managers. Why aren't you inviting customers to your restaurant? You listened, well, someone did. Are Groupon and deal sites bad? Use these pictures for your Facebook page. 103,000 in sales increase in 4 months. Doug asked to come to your restaurant. And so these are emails that if you build out correctly, you can build out an automation to where you don't have to worry about people not having a path. And you can also build it out really cool based on what they do. If they click this email, they get this follow-up email. If they open this email, they get this follow-up email. If they don't open this email, they get this. So email marketing is still alive. It's not as alive as it was 20 years ago, but it's still there. And it's a great tactic you can use to grow your database and talk to people differently. So the next is text. Now, I mentioned a minute ago how this email right here was for my live event and how I was going to talk about how that worked. Well, text messaging had a huge part of it, and I'm going to tell you why. Text messaging is just like Messenger in that the open rates are crazy, the engagement's crazy. The difference is a lot of people don't know how to use it, and a lot of people don't use it correctly, and a lot of businesses are scared to use it, including some of my clients, because of the penalties that are out there if you do something wrong, if you don't follow the rules. So 2 examples on the screen here, really simple, is if you're going to use text, it's so much more intrusive than email and Messenger that you can't waste it. Text messaging has to be specific and it can't suck. Good example, the far left. This was a text somebody had opted into to get a free appetizer. They got a link to go online and get their free. This was actually the 3rd of the 5th version of the ROI engine that we used landing pages for. We did email, text, Facebook ads, went to a landing page, which got people in. And then they got a text and an email, which drove them to a page to redeem their offers in the restaurant. Worked really well. Got expensive with text because we were getting a lot of opt-ins and there was a lot of texting going back and forth. But this was a text that got a lot of interaction because it gave people something they asked for, and it was also really good. An opposite example of this was a client we worked with a few years ago, did an email or a text message to the entire 8,000 person database on social media, on digital, what was it on? It was an opening day of the NBA season. So it was like sometime in the fall. And it was a text that went out saying, hey, come on in. We got beer specials on the first day of the NBA season. Well, if you know where I'm from in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, it's not a huge NBA town. It's not even close to a huge NBA town. And also looking at their database, it was like 60% female. And then you looked at that being the opening day. I'm like, guys, this was a pretty bad text message because you just wasted, of those 8,000 people, probably 7,500 could care less. Whereas on the left, this database cares because they asked for it. And it's also a really kick-ass offer. Now on the right, it's a little different. This is something a lot of businesses aren't using correctly. A lot of businesses have people that don't show up for meetings. People that don't show up for their consultations, whether you're a business like a gym or a salon or a barber, places like that that schedule time and people show up, and if they don't show up, you lose capacity. You lose that person spending money. Well, the one on the right is a great example. This middle part is what I called the Matt Plapp Appointments app here. This was actually for my 3-day live event that I did. I had 28 speakers that booked times to speak during my event. All 28 showed up and showed up on time. Only one person, which I reached out to her ahead of time, she had the time mixed up because she's an hour behind and she was not really paying attention to that. And was like, oh, I messed up, but she still showed up on time. But think about it. I had 28 people that scheduled to do something. Why did all 28 show up? Why did all 28 show up early? Why did all 28 show up the exact same place they were supposed to? It's because I built out some really kick-ass automation. Had Matt Plapp just said, hey, you're at 3 o'clock this Friday, I'll see you then, I'll email you the link, and not reminded them, it wouldn't have worked as well. But because that initial one at the top there, you see Matt Plapp appointment, Zoom appointment confirmation, they confirmed their appointment, they got an appointment they scheduled, they got an email and a text. The text is on the far right. It's Matt and you're booked. Matt, I can't wait for your live event on my event, March 29th, 8 a.m. Please visit the link below at that time. And then they got a 24-hour notice. And then they got a 1-hour notice. And then if they texted me back the very last part, because this goes to a text number that's not my actual phone, if they texted that number back, it then forwarded it to my phone so I could see who it was, what they wanted, and what was going on. That is how you make sure things work. Is texting part of Drip, Robin? No, texting is not part of Drip. So, but we use Zapier in this case along with Twilio. And so that's a great example of text messaging that businesses, customers will reply to text. They'll open them. They just can't suck. But it's a great thing you should be doing is getting all of your clients' information. Now, this one's near and dear to me. Video marketing. Video is huge. And video is amazing. I'm going to show you why in a second why it's amazing. But if you're not capturing video for your business, then you're really missing the boat. And on the screen are two great examples. One by me interviewing a restaurateur. The one on the right, bottom right, one of my restaurant clients filming people doing their beer wall. Now, yes, we edited that video. It wasn't live. We added a logo to it, but literally maybe 20 minutes of work into that video. The one on the left was done live. One thing both of these have in common, we spent money on both of these. And we spent money to get the video view. Now, we didn't spend money just to get video views, though. You'll notice both of them have a link. Both of them had what was called the comment growth tool. Both of them were being used to grow a database, to build an audience, to build a following in Messenger, as well as the videos were used to be able to retarget. And if you look, the ad on the top, this is that actual ad. And you look on here and see that we had 82 unique link clicks. This was for customers in the area. It cost us 68 cents. They all went to Messenger. We had... These numbers are a little messed up. I'm not sure why that says, oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's not accurate. I don't know what I did there. Must have something weird. But you look at the amount spent, $55, 73 new messaging connections. So we had 82 people that clicked the link, of which 73 were brand new. So I spent 76 cents per person. Now, if I was a restaurant doing this and I had spent 76 cents to get somebody to come into my program, into that link, that's pretty impactful. And so if I go down here and look at this one, sorry. Got a little mouse happy. If I go down here and look at this one, this video did really well as well. It was guy going through doing the beers, filling up his beer, learning how to use the beer wall. We had a whole list. This post was actually really long. It had all 18 beers on tap. But what we did, if you look over here, we built a custom audience. This is that audience. We had built out, and I'll show you in a minute the retargeting aspect, but 25% of the views. So that video was, I think, 2 minutes long, I want to say. Does it show it on there? No, it doesn't. So it's about 2 minutes long. And we had 15,000 people in a custom audience that viewed 25% or more of that video. That's pretty impactful, as you'll see in a minute. But the cool part about this was none of this was high-end video equipment. It was a phone. It was a phone tripod. It was no fancy lighting or microphones. I should have had a better mic on the one on the left, but you know what? We live and we learn. They both reached a lot of people. They both helped us get a message out about barbecue, about beer. I do these for myself. You can do these for, I shot one yesterday for a weight loss clinic. You can do these for about anything. So video marketing is huge. It allows you to tell your story, allows you to captivate an audience, but more importantly, it allows you to do the next part, which is retargeting. Now I'm going to unshare this screen and I'm going to share my iPad because I want to go through some stuff with you on this and just give you really quick the reason for this. Stop share. Let me share this one. Because this is literally the most exciting part for me about digital marketing is this. Okay, so let's imagine we have two journeys. Let's imagine this is a TV. Got my little dials here, got people on it. Let's imagine this is your TV commercial. And we're going to call this one Facebook. So if you get a TV commercial and they're going to tell you, hey, your commercial is going to be seen by 50,000 people. Now, you don't actually know it's being seen by 50,000 people. They just tell you that, and that's a whole other conversation how those BS numbers are brought up. It's based off a couple thousand people. If that, but let's just say they say 50,000 are going to see it. So let's say you have 50,000 people that see your commercial. Check mark. Now, how many of those people engaged? And what I mean by engaged, how many of those people said, oh my gosh, honey, we gotta go eat there. We gotta go buy Coca-Cola. We gotta do something. So let's say engaged. The answer is you have no clue. You have absolutely no clue. Now here's where it's broken. And this is why I love digital media, is that imagine if you could retarget the people that were engaged. So you got 50,000. Let's say up here, you got not engaged. And let's say this was 5,000 and this was 45. Imagine if you could run a different ad to each one of those audiences on radio, TV, billboards, direct mail. I mean, imagine if you actually knew. Well, here's the problem. Number one, you don't know this. And so you can't go any farther. Now, Facebook, I run that same picture of me and the guy with the barbecue place. Pretty good stick people. And I know that it reached, let's say, actually I can look at it. Let's see what it says on there. How many people did that one reach? It reached 17,733 people. And that was targeted really, really local. So that's pretty solid. And it had 3,659 that engaged. Now, here's the cool part. So now, check mark, we actually know how many people viewed it. We actually know how many people engaged. We know how many people didn't engage or didn't, because there's 17,000 reach, 3,600 engagements. You got to assume somewhere around 13,000 people didn't. So did not, did. So it makes no sense at this point, early on, if you want to have efficiency, to really hardcore target these people. It makes sense to target these people. So now, if I'm that business and I want to say, hey, we've got a special, I can now market specifically to the people who engage there. That is retargeting. Here's another form of it. You've got your website, and your website's got home, about us, events, reservations. So you got home, about, events, reservations. Well, wouldn't it make sense that instead of running ads, which a lot of people are doing, saying, hey, anybody who visits this page, show this ad, visits this website, wouldn't it make sense to only run an ad to these people that visited reservation page and say, hey, we'd love to have you come visit us. Here's a promotion or a call to action. Maybe it's just, did you book your reservation? We noticed you were on the reservation tab. We noticed you wanted to come enjoy some amazing food with us. If you didn't book, click here to reserve it. That's retargeting. Another thing of retargeting is in this video right here, as we saw, there were 73 people that were new messaging connections. So I know of these 3,600, 76 were new messenger. So number one, I can now send them a message, which we did. Number two, I could run an ad only targeting those people. It's pretty damn targeted, 76 people. I know they took a specific action. They clicked a link. They had a conversation in Messenger. I would probably not have to do this, but that's an opportunity because I can talk to them in Messenger myself. That's a cool opportunity. Imagine if this was a link click, if this was not a Messenger conversation, if it was just a link, then it would make sense here because I might not be able to talk to them because they went to a landing page or something. That, my friends, is retargeting. Is there any questions on any of this so far? I guess I should have asked that until I kept blabbing away. Let me go to Zoom. Any questions in here? How do you know those 76 are new? Is there a filter in Messenger based on that? No, in Facebook ads there is. Facebook, it'll tell you, like if I'm looking at on the screen I had up a minute ago, on the Facebook Ads Manager, it says I had 82 clicks, I had 88 messaging replies, and I had 73 messaging connects, new messaging. So they know that that person has already messaged the page. So those are probably, one, those could be friends of mine within the area. Two, probably a couple of you all that saw me do the video, clicked the link and wanted to find out about it. And so that's how they know. Any other questions on here? Good stuff so far. You guys enjoying this? Everybody enjoying this? Yay, nay, maybe, maybe not. Good stuff. Give me a little, there we go. Yes. Cool. Okay. So let's get out of this screen. Let's stop sharing this one. Go back to Zoom, stop broadcast. Now let's go back to here, share my screen. Got that. Okay, so that's retargeting. That's what that's all about. Next, did this one a little elementary. Didn't want to get too in-depth on this because it's not rocket science. I want you to ask a question. When you have an event, do you know the people that are at the event? When you have your store, do you know the people who are in your store, that are in your restaurant? The people that have paid money to do business with you? You need to. And a good example, the reason I have this one on the bottom left down here is this is an event I did back in January. You can see Mark Volzer, Mike Donaker, Phil James, and Michelle Wisher there with me. And we're going over social media content. The reason I bring this one up is everybody that was in that room was already in my database before the event. They all paid to come to the event. They spent money to come to the event. They got to see some great speakers, which, by the way, later on you'll have an incentive. You can see those recordings. But the reason they came to the event was I reached out to them. I invited them. I did it through a database. I built that database through marketing to people in the community, in my community. I'm online. There's a lot of ways to do this. On the far right up here, even though the messenger code's going away in 4 months, we heard in August, the QR code will do the same thing. And even if it was a link, it would do the same thing. But that's my business card I carry around. Let's connect. I don't carry a business card. I had a guy the other day. I'm having coffee yesterday morning. A friend of mine, Mark, I hadn't seen in a couple of years. Oh my gosh, man, what's going on? We get talking. Hey, here's a card of mine. You got a card? No, I don't. Do me a favor. I had that also on my phone. Scan this in Messenger. Boom, goes into it, sees all my info. Holy shit, this is cool as can be. So now he's in my Messenger database. He's somebody I know. He's somebody that has a relationship with me. That's a good person to market to. And so all of this is when you're gathering places, when you're the gentleman on the bottom right, Duran, speaking to a bunch of youth. When you have those youth there, you have to have their information. He has their information. He does a great job of everybody who comes to his events. He gets their information. Now, there's unique tactics to do that. The top left is a branded URL, vipoffers.live/Guthrie's Chicken Fairfield. Please don't go to that, by the way, because you'll get opted into a program and you're not from my area. Unless you do live in Fairfield, then do it. But I don't see anybody on this call that does. And as a courtesy, anytime you see me show examples, I'd appreciate if you didn't opt into them. If you want to see a demo of any of my stuff, You can just message me on Facebook and I'll get it to you. But this is the VIP offer program. And in the restaurant, if the person doesn't have their phone on them and their Wi-Fi's jacked, and go, hey, go to this URL. We could have made that a lot smaller, which I wish we would have. I think we might have actually fixed it after the fact. But this was something real simple they had in business cards in their store. The back has a QR code, a scan code for Messenger. The front had VIP offers.live/that. Point being, whenever you go in the community, whenever you go out in front of people, you should always have the opportunity to get all of their information. I didn't have to do that at my event because everybody that was there already had it. Duran does it at his events. Guthrie's does it in their restaurant. I do it when I go to speaking events. So whenever you're out in the community, those are great opportunities to be in front of people. When I say community, it might be online. It might be a Facebook group. It might be a LinkedIn group. You need to have the ability to grow a database when you're out at those. Because it does no good for Duran to go speak to those kids and then never see them again. He's trying to get them into a community program he's got. He does an amazing job of getting every one of their cell phone numbers when they're there, because they only get incentives when if they have the cell phone. I was at a football game recently where his dentist was passing out some really cool swag. They were randomly giving it out. Really good stuff. And I'm like, dude, don't just give this out. Make me give you something to get it. Scan this QR code, scan this, go to this website, register, give me your phone number, give me your email. Always leverage your events to grow your radio station. And last but not least, messenger marketing. And again, all these tactics, social media, email marketing, text messaging, video marketing, retargeting, in-store and community, grassroots, and messenger marketing. These are the 8 chapters of my book that help you. And Messenger is obviously a huge one. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because it's not too damn difficult. But the top is an example of how quickly you can grow a database in Messenger. This is from December 1st to February 7th last year. So this is a year-old one. Actually, probably do a little better now. But you can see when the guy's organic was on right here. This was all organic. And then we let it flow, let his staff get acclimated. Then we turned the ads on about a week later. Then it went up. 2,064 subscribers in about 2 months, little under 2 months. And then now let's talk about Messenger. Okay, so we grow a Messenger database there. Why is Messenger so freaking awesome? Well, remember I talked about email earlier and segmenting your audience? If you look down here, you'll see this is a broadcast sequence for a restaurant we work with. They've got about 5,000 people in their database. You see that none of these are 5,000. These are test things here, so don't worry about those. But these right here, 2,700 people got a message. 623, 721, 2123, 2,800, 3,000, 1,100, 2,100. The open rates, 96, 99, 99, 97, 97, 97, 98. This is over just a snapshot from June, July, August, September, October. So 5-6 months. 99%, 98, 97, still up in the 90s. Engagement rate over here. It's a click-through rates basically. Engagement, answering questions, 27%. 3%. This one apparently didn't do great, which is surprising, the open rate. Maybe it didn't have a call to action. It might have been a reminder. 50%, 54%, 22, 26, 18. You know, this is one of those broadcasts right here, the bottom one, June Cheesy Stick. You can see down here at the very bottom, 2,100, cent, 98. This actually did about $2,500 in sales. And then you can see how you can make a lot of customization. You know, this is enter to win pizza for a year. Click the button below. They're entered to win. They got a next follow-up message. They got a call to action. You can ask a lot of great stuff in Messenger. You can have conversations. You know, I have businesses like the RV dealership. It asks them, hey, great, we got you're in Messenger. You're having a conversation with us. What does it say? It says something about hey, Matt, thanks for reaching out. We want to get you the best information as quick as possible. Answer a few questions real quick. When are you looking to buy? This week, next week, within a month, 2 to 6 months, a year. And when they answer those questions, it takes them down a different journey. Okay, great. What type of unit? How many kids? All this kind of stuff. So then we know how to qualify them, because I don't bother texting the lead for a year later to the guy right now. I text him the lead for the next 2 weeks right now. March Madness last month. We had clients of ours that did March Madness promotions. Instead of sending everybody all the stuff with it, we asked questions. Are you UK fan, Louisville fan, Purdue fan, Indiana fan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Dayton, Northern University? And we sent out specific messages to specific fan bases about those games that they wanted to see. Messenger is huge. So that is the 8 tactics to create your own radio station, to build a database. I see I have a question on here. Let me find my chat. Robin, bad weather here, Matt. Is this, yes, recorded. You did marketing for biker gyms. I met him at a charity event 2 weeks ago. Awesome guy. We don't do it anymore. We worked with him for about 4 months. The program didn't work with him, just for the simple fact that he was so freaking niche and in a bad part of Colorado from a standpoint of getting people from the suburbs. And he was also a real well-known restaurant because he'd been on Anthony Bourdain and all these different food shows that everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go there. And people opted in. We had too many bad opt-ins. So we're still re-examining some ways to still work together, but it didn't work for his one location. We couldn't do it in the baseball stadium one. So there's your answer to that. So cool. Anybody on here, should I take my AR-15? No, it's just not a very desired. It's not an area that people from the suburbs are going to go to. One, because it's probably 30 to 45 minutes from anybody, but it's not like a terrible, terrible location. It's just not what's going to drive traffic. And plus, he was probably too well known of a brand for people. It's like one of those places like, I'm going to eventually go there and you never go. We've all had those. So cool. Are you guys, do you want to know how to do all this? Does people on the chat here want to know this? Is this interesting to you? Is there things in here that you didn't know, or things in here that you think you need to do better? Things in here that could help your business, help your clients, all that good stuff. So let's talk about how you can learn this. So as you know, I've got my book coming out in May. The book has a membership site that's behind it that needs to be built out. It's partially built out, but we need to build out a lot of new stuff. So we're doing something pretty cool. Same way I did my book last year. We're having a membership site behind the book. And behind the book, meaning that everybody that is in the membership site is going to be going on a journey with us. So when they get the book, let's say in 6 months, they'll be able to go through each chapter, log in, and see a lot of great stuff and learn how to do everything I just showed you and more. But to get there, we got to build it. So let's talk about the journey, what we're going to do. So to create your own radio station beta launch, it's 8 weeks long. It starts next week. I'm actually announcing today the dates for the trainings. And it's stuff we're doing for my clients and my agency. So we're actually going to be doing 3 companies within the program throughout all this stuff. We're going to cover social media, how to create content, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, content calendars, Facebook ads, custom audiences. And we're going to be giving everything in there. So it's not like, hey, here's how to do it. It's, hey, here's how to do it. Here's our guide to it. Here's a PDF. And here's like some of the templates. Video marketing, how to automate your distribution, huge one. How to shoot a video, how to edit video. We're going to be going through all the stuff of video marketing on how you can use video for yourself, for your clients. Because if you're a business that's in this, it's great. If you're using it, if you're an agency, you can use this for yourself, and it gives you the ability to sell. I mean, my one little sequence I had back there in Zapier for my live event, the text and email follow-up. You get that to any doctor, anybody that takes appointments. That will solve a lot of their no-show rates. It will also automate a lot of their stuff with regards to not having to do it manually. And they'll love you for it. There's a huge value there. I mean, imagine a dental practice getting 20% bump in show rates. That right there pays a lot of money. Video marketing we talked about. Retarget like a sniper. We're going to talk about how to build custom audiences, how to build social media campaigns that retarget like a sniper, that find very specific people so you're not wasting money. Email, text, we're going to be going through nurture, CTAs, what's working, how to broadcast. We're going to be building out automation and email and text. We're going to be building out one-off stuff, and we're going to be giving it to you. So you're going to have access to all of it. Messenger marketing, pretty simply, you'll be blown away. That's my jam. I know it really well. We got some kick-ass stuff we're doing there. We're going to have all that in there. We're going to be going through different ways to do in-store marketing, current customer database marketing. Because if you don't have a retail store like I don't, then you don't have an in-store. But you have people that are doing business with you. You need to know how to market to them better. Community and grassroots marketing will be covering that as well. And so your takeaway. So here's what the event's all about. Here's what the program's all about. Over those 8 weeks, because the program's ongoing, but over those 8 weeks, every week we're going to have 2 live sessions and 1 question and answer. You're going to actually leave with stuff. So you're going to lead with content calendars to use, guides on how to use on your own, how to create new ones. You're going to have exact video campaigns, exact automation campaigns in Zapier with video distribution, with your lead follow-up and nurture, with making your appointments, with sending out your broadcasts, email nurture sequences, all of our best campaigns, the templates. We have all that great stuff. Text automation to be tied in with Zapier as well, and another program we use that you can probably get into if you wanted to. Messenger programs, FYI, not the ROI engine, other messenger stuff. A lot of awesome stuff that we're doing outside of the ROI engine. There'll be a couple little things from in there I'll pull out, but not much there because this isn't specifically about that. In-store marketing promos, what are things that businesses can do in store to drive sales, drive revenue? I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you're a business, you've got to know how to activate the people in your business. If you're an agency, you need to know how to teach the people that are your clients how to do that. Great example we'll have in there is our Don't Winterize Your Swing golf seminars. We helped a golf company put together for 3 years in a row that blew their sales out of the water for fourth quarter and even started first quarter off strong in Cincinnati when it was snowing for golf because they had kick-ass in-store promos to captivate the 4 walls. And then, of course, great things to do when you're out in the community, how you can be at an event and get people's attention and get them to become customers and get them into a database. What are the launch details? So it's pretty simple. The program includes 8-week live beta program. Starts next week, goes through June 9th. After that, you have continued access as long as you're a member. We'll continue all the calls and adding to the program every week. We're going to have 2 weekly webinars starting next week through the middle of June. After the 8-week beta, we'll move to 1 weekly webinar because we'll continue to add to the program. And then we'll have 1 weekly office hours and then email support. I put this on here. What is it worth? I don't have a real clue because it can be worth actually 10 grand per skill. But if you were to literally go out and learn, I learned how to do Facebook ads. It was $1,000. It was like, I think it was $1,400 was my first program I bought. That was $1,000. It was $400 for a live event. That was specifically for Facebook ads and landing pages. Now, you want to go out and learn Messenger, video, all that. So in there, my goal for this program, once the book is live, once the program is rocking, once we get through the summer, by the end of this year, my goal is to have this be a $5,000 a year program. That is my main goal with regards to this because I know the product we can put in there. I know the time we can put into it with the right stuff. Bonus items. But wait, there's more. Billy Mays. God rest his soul. But we have 4 things in here. If you don't know this, I've had 4 events in the past 12 months. I had a July event last year, 2018 ROI Experts Recordings. We recorded every session. We had speakers come in. We had a lot of great content. It's all online, recorded. We did a January Restaurant Marketing Summit where we had some amazing speakers as well. That was recorded. That's up and live. We had the March San Diego Mastermind, which was about, I guess, a month ago. It's hard to believe it was just a month ago. That was all recorded. That was Mikkel Yang, Michael Cooch, Mike Arcee, Casey Carroll, myself, Doug Smith. Great content in there. And then I just had my live 3-day event 2 weeks ago, which we're finishing uploading those videos right now. And those will be out in the next day or two. I'll start trickling them out. And by the next 7 days, we'll have all of them out. Joining the beta, you get access to all of that based on what it sounds sold for, based on what people have paid individually or packages. It's about $1,000 value for all of it. But there's some amazing content because there's stuff from experts, stuff from customers, stuff from business owners about how they like to be sold to, how they don't like to be sold to. And so I had a little, how's 2,000 sound for everything? It's kind of the old ClickFunnels thing, but it's not my style. So here's what we're doing. It's pretty simple. You get all of that. You get in the program for $500 up front for $49 a month to get access to the program. You get into it. You get access to all of it. You get all that great training. You're going to be able to have some skills that will drive a ton of business to either your business if you're a business owner, or if you're an agency, it's going to teach you next level stuff to do for your clients at the end of the day for $500. If you can't take this and go out and close some deals and sell some stuff, then you probably aren't paying attention. You're probably sleeping at the wheel. But let me give you the link. And if you're an ROI Engine member, the link is different. So I'll pop this in the chat. If you're an ROI Engine member, message me. I'll get you that link. It's also in the group. But I'll put this in here. I know Ross is already a part of it. A couple guys that are in here are already a part of it. If you're not, I think you'll love it. I think you'll You'll get a lot of value out of it. I always over deliver. That's one thing I hate about different things like this. People don't over deliver enough, and that you left wanting more. You're not going to want more from this. You're going to every week learn skills, get actual templates and things you can use for your business. This is the landing page that's for Kajabi. It's in the chat. And I wish I had an easier, I guess I could have done a branded URL for this. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and see if I can do that real quick. Show you one of the skills we'll teach you in this whole thing. Let's go to Rebrandly. That makes a little more sense, doesn't it? Log in. Let's create a new link. Let's put my link in there. Let's call this ROI Experts /live/beta. Create link. Okay, so should have that. Visit URL. There we go. Let's go into incognito and go to ROI Experts .live/beta. It should take me there. There we go. Boom. Okay, there's an easier URL. Put that in the chat. www.roiexperts.live/beta. And Alex, you asked, what's the difference between this and the ROI engine? Night and day. Watch that. I don't know if you've watched the videos on the landing page. The ROI engine is a specific restaurant marketing program that is teaching you an exact way to build out my restaurant program, 17 different modules, 4 or 5 that we got to click publish on the next couple of weeks. We got a couple fine tuning on them, but that is completely different. This is 8 tactics to grow a database, build a radio station, do your thing. The ROI engine is a very specific restaurant marketing program with a very specific dashboard, call to actions, ads, sequences, night and day. ROIengines.com, hit the agency button. It's got videos on there that walk you through how to do that. I've actually got a promotion that if you sign up for both, there's a bundle there. You can private message me as well. So that's all I got. That's my, that's today. My goal was, I went a little longer. Our goal was to be 30 to 45 minutes and then questions. I wasn't successful there. Make sure this link is working still. Click that link. Yep, cool. So there we go. That's all I got, people. If there's no more questions, if you got any questions, let me know. I see some people are still on here. Where'd the chat thing go? Okay, cool. So people are still on here. Any questions? Anybody hanging out? Who joined? Who's already joined? I know I see some people on here that are in here. I know Ross, you're in. I can't remember who else's name's on here. Ron, I feel like you're in. I don't know if Huve, Don, or Robin has or not. See, Robin's got a thing. I think he left. So cool. We got some limited spots left. I'm doing a webinar again Monday, and then we're launching this thing Tuesday. I put out the agenda tonight, but we're doing 2 webinars a week starting next week, and be rocking those out and teaching everybody some major skills they can use for their business, as well as some skills that they can use for their clients if they're an agency. So that's all I got. ROI Experts Live/beta. ROI Experts Live/beta is the URL to visit to get access to the program. Love to have you join us on this journey. That's all I got. See you later. Hold on, I got a question. Would doing ROI in this be too much to take on? Terry, I don't think so, because this is actually going to piggyback off it. The ROI engine gives you very specific that you can build on your own because it's already built, whereas this is going to be built live. I think you could easily piggyback this onto there because we'd be teaching you in depth about things that you should know in the ROI engine. There's people in my ROI engine program that need to be in this, that don't know Facebook ads good enough, custom audiences good enough, that don't know Messenger good enough. So this is going to teach a lot of the skills that you need So this would be a good piggyback with that. I've got a couple people doing that, exactly what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, Terry, do me a favor, message me, and I'll send you the bundle price on Facebook. Cool. Well, that's all I got. I appreciate everybody's time. I'm going to go finally have breakfast and lunch because I have not eaten yet today. I went and worked out. For whatever reason, on Saturdays, when I work out in the morning, I don't get hungry, but starting to get hungry now. But that's all I got. I am out of here. I look forward to having you all in the program, and I will see you around.